be great, but then what do we do about Denise?
Who's Denise?
My roommate.
You have a roommate?
Yes, Denise.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 unanswered questions on Friends.
Look at her. My first grandchild.
What about Ben?
For this list, we're looking at the most notable details, storylines, and other inconsistencies that were left unaddressed, in whole or in part, throughout the show's run. Hey, they told us life was going to be this way, and we want to know why. Since plot points will be discussed, here is your spoiler alert. Which Friends detail could you not be any more frustrated was left open-ended? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Who moved into the purple apartment after Monica and Chandler? The purple apartment, where so many wonderful, emotional, and hilarious memories were formed, for the characters and the fans.
Look around, you guys. This was your first home. And it was a happy place, filled with love and laughter.
So it's hard to imagine anyone outside of our core group members living there. But someone's got to, and we can't help but wonder who it might be. Two 20-something-year-olds embarking on a new chapter in the big city? A young professional who moved to New York for work? A couple setting out on their own?
And now when I look over, who am I going to see? The Gottliebs? The Yangs? They don't make me feel so good.
They'd have to be able to afford it. It's unlikely they'll get as good a deal as Monica did.
This place is really my grandmother's. I got it from her when she moved to Florida. Otherwise, I could never afford a place like this.
Whoever they are, we can only hope they went on to make the most of it like our friends did. Number 9. What's Monica's middle name? Okay, so we've got Chandler Muriel Bing, Joey Francis Tribbiani Jr., and Rachel Karen Green.
Joseph Francis Tribbiani, are you home yet?
I think he's still out. What's wrong?
Well, I'll tell you, Rachel Karen Green.
And although it's never explicitly said, various sources claim that Ross's middle name is Eustace. Phoebe doesn't get to find hers out since Ursula sold her birth certificate.
Oh, I never knew mine. Do you remember what it is? Yes. Phoebe. That's my first name. Right, okay. Then no.
That just leaves Monica. Well, what is Monica's middle name? We know that like her big bro, it starts with an E.
And I saw that there was a stock with my initials, MEG, on it. And, well, sometimes I have to watch for 2 or 3 hours before it comes up again. But when it does, it's pretty exciting.
So, although Phoebe's stand-in is certainly unique, it's definitely not it.
Do I have a middle name? All right, Monica Falula Geller.
What does the E stand for then? Elsie? Evelyn? Eleanor? Perhaps Jack and Judy Geller weren't particularly creative and went with Eustacia. We guess we'll never know. Number 8. Weren't Monica and Chandler meant to get married somewhere else?
This would be a beautiful place to get married. Yeah, but I wouldn't put the aisle there, and I would never have the ceremony there. You'd have the ceremony under this big, beautiful arch.
In the one where Paul's the man, the ladies visit the Morgan Chase Museum. They're struck by its beauty and convince Monica to add her name to the 2-year-long wedding venue waitlist. We later find out this was all orchestrated by Chandler, who intended to propose.
So did Hildy show you the place?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I can't believe you're gonna ask Monica to marry you.
But fast forward to their wedding day and, well, that doesn't look like the Morgan Chase Museum. So what exactly happened? Was it not in their budget? Did they prefer the other place?
That's exactly the budget of my dream wedding.
Oh, you guys are so made for each other.
Well, you're not suggesting that we spend all of the money on the wedding.
Or like Monica's dream dress, did they have to give it up to another bride-to-be? It seemed like the perfect place, so we want to know what made them change their minds.
I don't want a big fancy wedding.
Sure you do.
No. I want everything that you just said. I want a marriage.
Number 7. How did Phoebe afford her living situation? Yes, this question applies to several characters, but Phoebe's living situation is arguably the greatest enigma.
She doesn't know that you sneak out every night. She doesn't know that you sneak back every morning, and she doesn't know that you've been living at your grandmother's for a week now.
After her grandma dies, she continues to live in their apartment, seemingly alone for most of the series. Sure, there's the time she and Rachel live together and Mike eventually moves in, but we're talking about the bulk of the show. Given her work history and likely unstable income, we have to wonder how she can afford it. Did her grandmother buy the place? At one point, she mentions having a roommate. But how did no one else know about Denise? And did she ever come back?
I understand, how can you have a roommate roommate that none of us know about?
Maybe because you never listen to anything that I say. I talk about her all the time. Denise!
Although, since this is Phoebe we're talking about, we wouldn't be surprised if Denise was a spirit who'd temporarily inhabited a lamp.
I always get this really strong Debbie vibe whenever I use one of those little yellow pencils, you know. I miss her.
Number 6. How much money did Joey owe Chandler? Chandler helps his buddy with the cost of everything from meals to headshots and even rent. So we hope he was keeping a tab. After all, housing and kids are not cheap.
Now, look, I know I kind of sprung this whole me moving out on you thing, so why don't I just cover you for a while?
No way. Joey Tribbiani does not take charity anymore.
So did Joey ever reimburse him in full? Did they ever work out some sort of serious payment plan? We imagine he had amassed quite a sum. Of course, folks over on Reddit once pieced together Chandler's expenditures and worked it out.
All right, what else?
Well, there's acting classes, stage combat classes, tap classes.
Which we're still keeping under our hats.
Then there was that dialect coach.
And while we can't confidently give an exact total, it seems it would be a minimum of $100,000. We hope Joey's LA success lasted. Otherwise, we imagine he would be repaying his debt for a long, long time.
2-3 years of rent, utilities, food.
Okay. So I'm writing you a check for... So you fell asleep during my movie.
Number 5. What's next for Phoebe and Mike? Phoebe didn't have the easiest past, so it makes sense that she would want a different life for her future family.
Do I want that house in Connecticut, you know, near the good schools where Mike and I could send little Sophie and Mike Jr.? Oh my God, I do.
In fact, in one episode, she even tells her friends about her dream of becoming a soccer mom.
Oh my God, load up the Volvo. I want to be a soccer mom.
And we couldn't think of a better person for Phoebe to go through life's journey with than Mike Hannigan. In fact, the couple discusses starting a family of their own at the end of the show. And the Joey spinoff suggests they may have. So what we want to know for certain is, how many kids did they have? Does soccer mom life suit Phoebe? And who got what harmonies on Smelly Cat? Well, she did say she wanted to be like the Von Trapps.
Seriously, you want to make one of those?
One? How about a whole bunch?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, we can teach them to sing and we can be like the Von Trapp family.
Number 4. What happened to Ross's job at the museum? Season 5 gets pretty rough for Ross. His second marriage basically ends before it can really begin. He gets evicted, and after his sandwich gets eaten by someone else at work, he's advised to take some time off.
You threw my sandwich away. My sandwich! My sandwich!
But as far as we can tell, this is only meant to be temporary. So what exactly happened between then and when he started working at NYU? Last thing we remember is Ross's boss considering reinstating him after seeing that he's in a much better place.
I must say, it's nice to see you back on your feet.
Well, I am that. And that whole rage thing is definitely behind me.
I wonder if it's time for you to rejoin our team at the museum.
But then he witnesses Ross's reaction when he sees Chandler and Monica getting it on. Is it possible that Ross's temper cost him his job for good?
No. What are you doing? Get off my sister!
That seems to be what's suggested, but we'd like more details. Number 3. Where is Ben? Even before Ben is born, Ross is determined to be a hands-on, involved father. Indeed, Ben makes several notable appearances throughout the earlier seasons, but soon they become few and far between, and eventually, he basically vanishes.
Bye. 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 Oh.
Even his grandpa forgets about him.
My first grandchild.
What about Ben?
Well, of course, Ben. I meant my first granddaughter.
He's last seen about halfway through season 8. Emma enters the world not too long after, which begs the question, does he know his younger half-sister? There's been endless speculation about his absence. Carol and Susan actors Jane Sibbett and Jessica Hecht, for instance, reportedly said that he enrolled at a boarding school in the UK. But seriously, where is Ben? Did Ross still see him? Did Carol and Susan simply move away? Perhaps Janice was right all along.
They all say they're gonna be there. until they start their real family.
That's never gonna happen with Ross.
And well, that's what I thought about my first husband. Now I'm lucky if my kid gets to spend the weekend with her father.
Number 2. What's up with Phoebe's backstory? Throughout the series, Phoebe shares details about her difficult childhood. Although, if you piece them together, they raise more questions than answers. Firstly, where was Phoebe's grandmother all those years she was unhoused? And why does Phoebe say her dad Frank left before she was born? That's not how he remembers it.
I burned the formula and I put your diapers on backwards. I mean, I made up a song to sing you to sleep, but that made you cry even more.
Also, did father and daughter keep in touch after their reunion? And where did her biological mom go? We last see her when Phoebe turns to her for advice about surrogacy, although she's alluded to in later episodes.
So however hard it is for you to give up this puppy, well, it would be like 1,000,000 times harder to give up a child. I really shouldn't have given you the puppy first.
Neither even attends their daughter's wedding. Honestly, we need a spin-off to iron out all the details of Phoebe's life.
So much you don't know.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. What happened to Monica's ex-boyfriend, Pete? Did he make it in the UFC?
I will do it. I'm telling you, the day will come when children will argue over who will win a fight, me or Superman.
Does Rachel wear glasses? She told Ross she does, but we never saw them.
It was a little hard to follow.
I told you there were going to be subtitles.
I know. I just didn't want to wear my glasses on our first date.
What happened to Joey's pregnant sister, Dina? She did say she wanted Uncle Joey in the kid's life, so was he?
Is my baby gonna have his Uncle Joey?
Of course he's gonna have his Uncle Joey.
What happened to Phoebe's Central Perk gig? Her playing at the coffee house eventually stopped being a regular occurrence, and we want justice for Smelly Cat.
I used to do my songs because it made me happy. Now it's like, it's just all about the money, you know.
Well, people missed you in there. And in fact, there was actually a request for Smelly Cat.
What's with the potato and the cake stand? If anyone knows the answer, please share it with the group.
Hey, Gunther, have you seen Chandler?
I thought you were Chandler. But, one of you's over there.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. What happened after Rachel got off the plane? We all cheered when we realized she got off the plane.
I got off the plane.
But let's not forget that Rachel gave up a job at Louis Vuitton in one of the most fashionable places in the world to be with Ross. It was hard enough for her to get her foot in the door of the industry to begin with.
Oh, I would have quit, but then I think I should stick it out. But then I think, why would such a person stay in such a demeaning job just because it's remotely related to the field they're interested in?
And after working hard to climb the ladder, we doubt she'd willingly throw it all away. So what next? Perhaps Louis Vuitton had a local opening? Did Ross convince Ralph Lauren to take her back again?
Zellner called me and he said, we will do anything we can to get you back. And that I should thank some Ron. I don't even know what department that guy's in.
Maybe she started her own line. Given the countless iconic looks she served throughout the series, we can definitely see her as a successful fashionista. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.